Welcome back, everyone. I'm Zell, and today I've got a treat for you. We have a wee Zephyr in here. Alright, let's get this guy out. We know what Wii does. They send it in this nice little zip pouch. We have the star tool, or don't need a star tool in there this time, do we? So we don't have a star tool in there, but we have a little card in there. We have a little cloth. All the nice stuff that Wii sends with all their knives, and this is the Zephyr. And I'm going to try to give you facts and not get too excited about this knife, but just so you know, this thing is a grand slam, home run, grand slam, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. The pitcher was up and hit a grand slam. That's how big this guy is, how great this knife is as far as I'm concerned. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into the knife. What we get with the knife is titanium handle scales. We got our standard Wii pivot. We've got carbon fiber inlay. We got our lanyard hole. We've got torque screws again. We'll talk more about those here in a minute. We'll roll it around to the back. And check this out. Check out what they've done with the backspacer. There you go. They have backspacer goes all the way across here and here. Down through here. Kind of like we do on some of the Todd knife and tool backspacers. They have milled that backspacer out just a little bit. Yeah, it's a crud catcher, but man, that is cool. And moving on to the back side, we have more carbon fiber inlay. And look down through there at that lock bar. The way they've inlaid that carbon fiber. That is freaking awesome. Have a really nice pocket clip here that we'll talk more about here in a minute. And back to the back side, we have nice jimping on a rather small flipper tab. And we'll talk about that more, of course, as we go along. Our dimensions are closed length of 4.45, a handle thickness of 0.54, a closed height of 1.42. So yes, it does encroach on that Spyderco territory as far as closed height, but that's okay. We have an open overall length of 7.9 and a grip length of 3.9 from the flipper tab to the back of the knife. And a weight, check this out, 3.9 ounces for this big old blade, all this titanium, and the carbon fiber. And it is not milled out, because if you're going to inlay carbon fiber, you can't be milling stuff out because you have to have something for the carbon fiber to adhere to. So there you go, 3.9 ounces. So let's get to our comparisons. Have our Buck 110, our Rat Model 1, and then the comparison you guys are all going to want to see, the Delica. And of course the Delica is considerably lighter, smaller, but it's not anywhere as good looking as this guy. And there's the comparisons. We'll even throw a shiver out here, mostly because I want to know what you guys think of this color. It's a color that I've kind of found a way to do. It should be very durable. Has been so far. Let me know. Let's get back to our Wii Zephyr. That blade. Get a look at that blade. Now this has got Wii's beautiful stonewash. The blade is 3.46 inches long with a 3.41 inch cutting edge. And it is a drop point. We do have a swedge up here. We've got that stonewash from Wii that I just love. And then we have, of course, our satin from Wii, which is one really nice satin. I really love how they do that. And we have our egg-shaped hole with the kind of egg-shaped thing around it. Just very, very beautiful blade. It's made out of M390, of course, and it is beautiful. Now, the one thing I do want you to see is we have just a smidge, and that worked better before. Just a smidge of one of those non-committal recurves. Now, that is a recurve that if you're using a fixed angle sharpening system, is probably going to go away the first time you give it a serious sharpen. If you like having that bit of recurve, you will need to have proper equipment for sharpening recurves, because it is so slight that touching it with a fixed angle sharpening stone or even flat stones it's not going to stick around long. And that's okay. That doesn't bug me at all, because I would prefer to not have even that little bit of recurve. And if I end up with one of these of my own, it won't have the recurve. But that's the blade, and man, it is a beauty. And something I want you to see real quick, if I can get this measurement. That is right behind the edge. That's a really hard measurement to get. That's 0.0235. Now, to put into context how thin that is, whenever I grind one of these knives, I grind it down before sharpening to 0.02 or thereabouts. And then whenever you sharpen one of these guys up, your actual behind the edge measurement is closer to 0.03. Now, these are heavier duty use knives, or that's their intent. So that's the way I do them that way on purpose. I could do them thinner, but this is very, very thin. And for WE, normally, this is extremely thin. Most of theirs end up more like the shiver grind profiles at 0.25 or 0.025 or 0.03. So this definitely is a little slicer. And this is factory edge, which, you know, isn't too bad. But touch it up with the sharp maker or get it on the wicked edge, and that would be a slicing beast. Now, let's move ahead to our pause and read card, and then we'll get back in and talk about the mechanical bits. Alright, on the mechanical end of things, we have standard WE stuff. Ceramic ball bearings. Watch the Watch Inside video. It's all in there. We got the hardened steel back washers backing those bearings. We've got torque screws all about. Every one of them is a T8. Loved that. Love to see that more and more knife companies are going to straight T8 and we're leaving the T6 behind. Although I have ran into some T6s recently on the steel will knives that are excellent screws. But it's always better to have that T8. T8 is that middle ground where the screw is still plenty small enough, you know, even for our lock bar insert. But the driver and the recess for the screw is also big enough that you have fewer problems with them, even with a good screw. So, what do we get mechanically besides that? Well, we've got this really, really nice cutout down through here. We have our inlay, and we'll look at the screws real quick. And I believe WE's got to be broaching out these screws. Now, I don't know for sure. I should probably shoot them an email and ask. But these screws are so snug. Whenever you get that tool in there, the tool actually kind of snaps out of the screw. And some of you will understand that. If you don't, get a hold of one of these WE knives and a WEHA or a Bondhus bit and try it. It's got this kind of snappy feeling as you pull the driver out, which means that it's in there good and snug. Now, let's get this guy in the pocket and see how that works out. Putting him in the pocket is just absolutely beautiful. In fact, I'm going to have to zoom in on it or we're not going to be able to see it. There you go. Don't have much of the knife sticking out, but it's not completely hidden with the big major deep carry pocket clip. The pocket clip has plenty of spring to it and plenty of room under it. I have had this knife in 511s. I've had it in Cintos, you know, those blue Cintos, I forget what they're called, or not Cintos, but Carhartt work pants. I've had it in Riggs workwear, denim, and Carhartt denim, and everything has just worked out beautifully. And while we've got it in there, let's just get another look at this guy. I know, I'm overdoing to getting a look at this guy, but man, oh man, is this guy a beauty. And yeah, that's why this is not a full review. That's why this is a first look, because I am definitely enamored with this design. Which would make it really hard to do an honest full review. So now let's get to ergonomics, and this is where I'm going to be honest. You guys know what I like to say about these points. And usually if there's some sharp point on there like that, I'm like, yep, nope, ain't doing it. All right, so let's see what WE has done. One, the pocket clip doesn't cause a hot spot. Secondly, that hook right there, look at the size of it. Get that up close to the camera so you can see. And check out that little bit of milling in there on the lock bar release. That's beautiful. There you go. My hand fits around this thing like a glove. And there's enough room. See, there is part of my finger that's going to be hooked in there. I've got I wear a medium-large glove, so medium-large hands, and there's still room. So I really believe that for large hands, medium-large hands, this knife is going to be superb, even with that point. Now, you get to some really, really, really tiny hands, and we need to get this thing in Frankie's hands as soon as we can. We may end up with some issues there where we get 2 fingers up in this hole, and that may be a problem. We'll have to let Frankie fill us in on that whenever she gets the knife. But for me, it's great. And that point does not get me whenever I put it in a draw cut grip. Works great here. And even your reverse grip. And for some reason, we are losing light. There we go. Even works great in your reverse grip. And with that hole up there, your various pinch grips are absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I know. We're doing a lot of talking and a lot of praise for this knife. However, I do not think any of the praise is missed or misplaced. What WE has done is they've taken a beautiful design and they have turned it into an absolutely wonderful everyday carry knife that you can carry anywhere. You can carry it to work. You saw how deep it went in the pocket. You can carry it in the office. Now, whenever you get that big old blade out in the office, people may get a little wonky on you, but it's not a knife that is going to draw attention because it's aggressive looking. It's not a knife that's going to cause you problems in most places. Now, there's some places that people get freaky, and it's just a beauty. So let's kind of gather this all up and finish this review up. The WE Zephyr is an absolutely, in my opinion, beautiful knife. The blade design is great. Some of you are going to ask about the ability to flip the knife out, and it's obviously there. You can use all of your spider tricks on that egg-shaped hole. I think it'll even do a Spidey drop. I'll see if I can do that for the camera. I can't because I'll hit the camera. Sorry about that. But it will do a Spidey drop. I'll do it kind of off to the side here. There you go. And they've just hit on all cylinders, and they put the torque screws in it. They've got this beautiful inlay, and it's all just wow. I really, really am enjoying the knife, and it really kind of hurts that I've got to send this thing out to other reviewers, because between this and the one we're going to talk about next, like I have said, I think before, we had some misses over the end of the year, but they are closing the 2017 model year out super strong. We have the Eschaton on the way. We have, in fact, I think some people have already received their Eschatons. I haven't, but mine are on the way. We have this one on the way, and we have another Simon Craft design that is absolutely awesome on the way as well. The Zephyr, if you have normal-sized hands, just buy it. It's going to come in a few different colors, and of course you'll have some black blades, and just buy it. You'll love it. I absolutely love the thing, and I will be waiting anxiously for this to get back from making the review rounds. It is probably With the exception of the 702, which is a knife I carry regularly, it's probably my favorite knife of 2017 for We Knife Company. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to stop right here because if I don't, I will continue to lavish praise on this knife because I like it that much. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.